All right. As we get this thing started, you might be like, why is Diana in there with him? On Twitter, they can see you fully. On YouTube and Facebook, they can see everything but your face. They got one boob, a leg. You'd have to move this way if you didn't want to be seen. Nah, you look like it's something you'd wear at like the beach. Why is she in here? You'll see. You know, I should probably just get this out of the way. I don't even know where my brain is today. No, don't sing. Please don't sing. No. Okay, if you want to sing, you can do it. I can't tell you what to do. Maybe these lovely people will join in. Are you ready? Sure. One, two, three, four. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. The tone deaf. Happy birthday, dear Eric. Happy birthday to you. That was beautiful. Are you 10? Are you 20? Are you 30? Are you 35? Are you 40? Are you 45? Are you 46? Are you 47? Are you 48? Are you 49? Are you 50? Stop! Woo! 50! Yes, I am. Thank you. There's a big surprise that's about to hit. And I had nothing to do with it. It's all her. It's all the queen of the forest. You're very excited about this, aren't you? Okay, well, I need to take care of some things first, and then I have to officially start the show. All of this will be included, but there's a couple things that have to happen. She says, "Hurry it up! I have to go get my coffee." In fact, when you go get yours, can you bring me another cup, please? Would that be okay? Sure. It's your birthday. Yeah, the cup is behind there. When you get a sec, it's the one Madison gave me. Thank you to the Zaniacs for not showing up and walking through my bedroom with a marching band, because that's something you would do. Thank you for not doing that. Thank you for respecting my wishes. That I didn't want anybody to just show up here. You're awesome. The live stream of the Eric Zane Show podcast is brought to you by several key sponsors. Green Clean Tech. What? Yeah, there they are. Green Clean Technologies. They clean critical environments and data centers. Thank you to Zaniac Will for signing up. All right. He goes from business to business, like banks, hospitals, you name it, schools that have data centers, and make sure that the environment there is clean. If it's not, all this stuff's floating through the air. It lands on the servers. It piles up over time, and that's a problem. Before you know it, all the data goes kablooey. You can call Will at 989-560-7272. That is his number. Do you have your phone with you by chance? I want to make sure. Has anybody texted you and said that the live stream is dead or anything? That's good news. That's good. That's a good sign. It's a good start to the day. Thank you again to Green Clean Technologies. You want more information and to get a quote, reach out on their website, greencleantechnologies.com. Kent County Health Department encourages you to cough into your elbow, wear a mask, and be socially distant. We're doing our best trying to get through this. I think we are getting there. Michigan is really turned the corner, even though we had to scale back last week. Thank you to the Kent County Health Department for COVID testing stations in Kent County. AccessKent.org is their website. If you want to call them up for anything other than, well, in addition to and other than COVID, like sexually transmitted infections, vaccinations for the kids, WIC assistance, you can reach out to the Kent County Health Department through their website, accesskent.org. This show comes to you each and every day from the Metalworks Body Shop Fear Bunker Studio. On your mark, get set, July 7th, 2020. Oh my gosh, begin.
And now, here's a guy who got tired of being fired by corporate radio. So he took up being fired by Patreon subscribers instead. It's the Eric Zane Show podcast.
Thank you, John A. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. This is the daily show, a daily rant-filled, obscenity-infused podcast covering news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. It was 50 years ago today. Dr. Pepper taught the band to play. Yes, the elephant in the room. It is the 50th birthday of yours truly. I decided I need you here. You're going to have to go get that chair over there and sit next to me and be with you. You must. You look fine. You're as pretty as a picture, as always.
I just woke up.
Yeah, you look beautiful. This is what this is what, to me, is what I find to be the most beautiful.
I just woke it up.
So,
Check.
you don't need to be that close to the microphone.
Oh. Check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just
Oh.
fine. Do you need your phone?
No. In case someone talks to me?
No, I don't know, but you're always looking for it. It's like it's like it's part of you. So, okay. 50th birthday. You have been with me for all of these decade milestone birthdays, except for when I was 10.
Yeah, so I saw you through your teens. Finished up your teens with you.
Yeah. Well, we started dating in January of 89. So the first month of...
So you're 18.
Yeah, I was 18 then. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? 18 years old. Okay. Now, you have you had a request for me that you wanted me to do on this podcast for these folks.
Yes.
Where did you have some pretty creative ideas, pretty fun things that you do. You're quite a fun person.
I am. I thought this would be hilarious. So maybe you should just get to it.
You want me to get to it? All right. Diana has requested that I do the podcast not like what you're used to, which is me sitting here in a T-shirt. Since it's my 50th birthday, she wanted me to do this. So I need to take off my headphones, first of all, because there's a lot that goes into it. So you can take your screenshots and you can Photoshop. You can take the screenshots and Photoshop me, do whatever it is you want, because she's requested that I do this podcast today with all of this adorning me. I have to start with the sash. It says happy birthday to me on it.
Okay, perfect.
Is that satisfactory?
How can I help you?
Hold on. Okay, you can just hand them to me one at a time. Is that satisfactory the way that looks? This is a button that says 50 on it. Hold on, one thing at a time.
I know.
I can't see.
Yeah, let me do it.
Okay.
Does it show up?
Yeah.
Okay, next is this necklace.
This is ridiculous.
Okay. Hang on, it's a little messed up.
It's a little messed up. I mean, there's a right way to wear it. I mean, it's...
Look at it. It looks dirty.
Did you brush your teeth? I smell butthole. I smell my butthole on your breath.
Can you see that?
Hold on, I'm too busy laughing at my joke. See, this is how it looks. You got to look over there.
There you go. Okay.
Why is it stupid?
I don't know.
This looks like a noose. You're racist.
You ready?
Oh, there's glasses. Why didn't you tell me there's glasses? You're going to scare Benny. Are you doing this the whole show? Do I have to sit here with you blowing that in my face? Okay, I'll get the microphone out of the way so you all can get a clear picture, a clear screenshot. Now, you got to stand next to me here and look at the camera.
Wait.
5. Okay, we're going to take a picture.
Where do I look? Where's the camera?
There's the camera. There's 2. Why are you looking over there?
I'm looking at myself here.
Hey, you can't look at the monitor. The monitor is not the camera. Okay, all right, that's good.
Okay. Can you stand up so I can take a picture on my phone real quick?
Can we just do it after?
No, because I have to post something. Hang on, folks.
It's embarrassing.
Back up a little.
I can't back up anymore. Just you back up. There.
Hang on.
Look at this chin. Look at my double chin.
Okay, ready? Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Can I have
Have
some
fun.
coffee? Can you
Yes,
bring
I'll
me
go
the
get you
coffee,
some
please?
Yes.
Can I take this off?
No.
I can't take it off. How am I supposed to do the show?
You can take your hat off because you need to put your headphones on, but you have to do the rest like that all the time.
Okay, thanks.
I'll be back.
All right. So basically, nobody's going to hear a word I say because I'm wearing these stupid glasses and my sash and my 50 button. Oh my gosh. All right. So there we go. Thanks to everybody for the well wishes in advance. You're all spectacular. Here we go. Boy. Now I got to kind of focus as to what actually is happening on the podcast. All right. I actually wrote down address the ridiculous getup that I'm wearing and how that came to be. We did that. All right. Today on the show, we have your daily Karen update. This one is probably the queen of the current graduating class of 2020. She is the valedictorian. An update on her. And it appears to be going the other way now on her. Some bad things happened, and now it's kind of like people are like, maybe we shouldn't be so mean to her. I have no idea. Also, Jimmy John's fired so fast you'll freak. That story. My gosh, when are people going to learn? Baseball is trying to come back. Some of the top players are not. They don't want anything to do with it. Athletes are testing positive for the virus, but it's trying to come back. And teams are working out now. And one player appears to not have worked out much leading up to the summer camp. He got fat shamed by a reporter. All right. So the player came in heavy. The reporter shamed him. And then now the reporter who shamed the fat baseball player is blaming everyone else for fat shaming. What? This is really a weird thing. We also have this day in coronavirus nonsense. That all coming up on the show. But a lot to get to on the open of the podcast. As you know, obviously, it was 50 years ago today that my wonderful mother brought me into the world. But before I get into that, yesterday was quite a thing because, as you know, I am getting set for a vacation to Tennessee. And for those of you who are in Tennessee and would like to hang out, just know that I will be in Cookeville, Tennessee, at a restaurant called Crawdaddy's, 4 p.m. on Saturday. What time is it in Cookeville, Tennessee, right now? I need to take care of this. What time is? I got to ask the staff. In Cook, it's an hour behind, so that is 4 p.m. Cookeville time. That would be 5 p.m. Knoxville time. So there you go. That will be 4 p.m. Cookeville time on Saturday. We'll be getting together for a Zaniac show hangout. If you are listening to this and you're just hearing about it now, try to make plans. Would love to see you folks at that event. So I've been planning this vacation for some time. But in order to get onto the vacation appropriately, I like to provide material while I'm away. Plus, the sponsors. I like to make sure that we suddenly don't just shut down what we do here. They pay to be on the show. If I suddenly take a week off, I owe them for that. So I like to do a show in order to be able to make the world go round concerning the sponsors. So yeah, that's all cool. I don't mind that at all. I've been going through a lot of my old material. I have no plans to use anything Free Beer and Hot Wings going forward on the progression of the Eric St. Show podcast because I kind of came to an agreement with the boys that I should not be infringing on their what they do by taking their material. And you might be like, wait, what the hell? Whatever happened to Law Zane tapes? Yeah, if it's material that I didn't make myself, if it was part of that outfit, it's not mine. And I gave it all back. So nobody bitched. I just did it on my own. It just makes sense in an effort to try to be on the same page going forward and be as respectful as possible about our agreement. So that's what I'm doing. I'm for the Best Of show. It's all stuff from this podcast. So that's fun. And I'm really looking forward to it because I've worked very, very hard on getting it done. So yesterday, I put in a big-ass long day in preparing for that. I knew that the birthday show was coming up, so I was dreading that because 50 is kind of shitty. But, all right, so I dug into work yesterday. Now, I sat down here yesterday to do the show, to prepare for yesterday's show at 7 a.m., and by the time I shut all of this down yesterday, it was 9:30 at night. Oh my gosh. I just crushed it. The only time I left here was after the freebie podcast yesterday. I went down, got something to eat, and got a cup of coffee, let the dogs out, let the dogs in, got back up here, started preparing for the Patreon. So there was probably about a 45-minute window where I wasn't actually in here. And then when I ate dinner at 5 p.m., did the same thing. Ate dinner, let the dogs out, came back up here. So we're talking about maybe an hour and a half from 7 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., which is 14 and a half hours minus an hour and a half. Holy crap. Thank you, honey. Thank you. You want to hang out?
No, I gotta go make my coffee. I'll be back, though.
Why? Why are you coming back?
Oh, just to say hi. Blow my horn.
I know you like to blow horns.
Hi, Benny.
Does Benny want to come in here?
Hey, Benny.
Come on, Benny.
Hi, Benny.
Come on. It's Benny, brought to you by A&D Heat. A&D Cleaning. All right. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to the Best Of shows. I've got some great moments that I just, it's weird because I hate listening to myself, but in coming up with the content for the show, I was like, oh yeah, that was a good story. I actually enjoyed that one. So it's actually turned out to be quite a fun thing. Let's see, I have 2 more shows to make. I made the show for this Friday. I made the show for next Monday, next Tuesday, next Wednesday. And I have Thursday and Friday left to do today. Now, you also need to know that you're actually getting much more material next week than what you're used to, because I'm bringing my equipment to Tennessee. First of all, every day at 6 a.m. Eastern Time, a new Best of the Eric Zane Show podcast will drop. That's what the kids say. It'll drop. I will have scheduled it all in advance, and it will show up on the downloadable audio podcast. You won't have me live for the Best of, obviously, because I don't have a time machine. But you will have me live at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, because Terrytown RV sponsored my trip. Okay? So I'm doing a short live podcast for about 10 to 15 minutes, I guess, just depending on how I feel. This is what I promised him, at least that long, with no sponsors other than Terrytown. All my sponsors are on the Best of show. And then Terrytown, I have them featured as part of the Eric Zane Show podcast, Terrytown, Tennessee Adventure. So from our campsite at the RV park, I'll be doing that show with basic stuff like, hey, what's going on, what we're doing, the adventures that we've encountered as we continue, as we do our vacation. So there's going to be a lot of fun things to talk about that I'm looking forward, that will no doubt unfold, and we'll have a great time. So that'll be Monday and Friday next week, Monday through Friday next week. It'll be on all the places that you're used to getting the show now. It'll just be a short podcast in addition to the Best of. And I will still be doing the Patreon bonus podcast for you. So, okay, we're in business, Diana's like, well, the vacation's supposed to get you away from the podcast. It's like, yeah, it is. But at the same time, the way the world is in my current setup, there is a little bit of adjustment. Plus, it'll be no pressure because everybody knows that I am on vacation, and it won't be nearly as much preparation. So that's cool. These freaking 50 glasses keep bumping into the microphone and making my life miserable right now. But thank you. I know I've got a lot of people that have weighed in with, hey, happy 50th. I appreciate that. I had very specific instructions for 50th. I did not want a 50th birthday party. I did not want a big surprise party or anything like that. I've had good experiences with those in the past, but in this current, the way it is right now, I just want to make it lay low. I mean, and plus coronavirus. I don't want anything crazy going on. But you know what? I had a friend of mine reach out. Actually, it was Rick from TC Paintball who reached out to me, and he said, "Oh, it looks like you're not dying on the hill anymore." And what he meant by that was I've been raising an eyebrow on some of these pandemic stories and infections and deaths and things like that. And yeah, I'm not. I've just been asking questions. I haven't been like, okay, this is the way it is now. I've changed my opinion on this. But there are a lot of things that I keep discovering as I continue to unpack more and more that are making me pause. Okay. And in fact, I have a story later on today with some statistics in it that are going to make you do what I did when I found out about it. I was speaking with my pal, Tim Fagan, who runs iHeart in West Michigan, Grand Rapids and Muskegon. I was talking with him. He's been a pal for years. And he said, hey, I don't get any information about the virus on the usual sources these days. I've found some other shining lights of information that seem to be off the beaten path that are interesting. I go, oh, yeah, well, what do you got? And he sent it along to me, and I went, wow, because the article quotes the statistics from the Michigan Department of Health, which, oh, boy, I think it might open up, well, at least make you go, wait a minute, what's going on there? I cannot wait to talk about that. All right. Hang on. I need to drink this coffee. Hang on. Drink up your coffee. Still a little warm. By the way, I reached out to the lady at the RV park that I'm going to be staying at in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And Diane and I will leave Thursday after the show, and then Friday is when the best of material will start. And she sounded like she was pissed. She's like, make sure when you come into the office, you wear a mask. And she said it like that. And I'm like, okay. And only one person in the office. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I'm sure that'll be part of the detail when I get there. And she punches me in the face. So I've been looking back in my brain about memorable moments, turning 50 today, and then turning 40, 30, 20, and 10. And with the exception of when I turned 20, I remember all of these milestones. I remember all that happened on the birthday celebrations at 10, 30, 40. Like I said, 20, I do not recall when I turned 20. No doubt with Diana, I probably smelled like sex because that's all we did back then. Not much has changed, except now I don't want to have sex. All she does is molest me. Talked about this many times. All right. 40 was a surprise birthday party at the intersection. The accomplices, partners in crime with Diana, free beer and hot wings. The unsuspecting idiot, me. Those guys said to me, hey, we've got a meeting Friday with Catlett at the intersection. Catlett was the GM who put a lot of things in motion for us in our career. Great, great dude. Love that man. He ran GRD smoothly until Russ got there and fucked it all up. Until Town Square got there and fucked it all up and brought that pussy Russ in. All right. So Catlett was running the show. And so Free Beer says, hey, man, we've got an opportunity to do something really great at the intersection for the show. Catlett hasn't told us what it is, but we're meeting with the folks at the intersection, which is a nightclub in Grand Rapids. We're going to meet with the folks at the intersection on Friday to discuss the logistics about this really exciting thing. And I had no idea. I went, oh, really? Oh, well, what is it? I don't know, man. So Diana had worked with Free Beer and Hot Wings to make this all happen. So those fuckers were all in on it. And I say that not in a rude way. I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. And I'm just a dumb shit. So I'm like, whoa, this could be big for us. I had no freaking clue. Hang on, coffee time. Sorry. So, all right. That happens. And I'm like, all right, it's going to be good. I can't wait to get more information about this big thing. It's going to be awesome. And so I'm driving over there by myself. I set it down. I go, yeah, I got some meeting going on with Catlett, Greg, Chris, Eric, and the folks from the intersection. She's like, oh, wow, okay, it sounds exciting. I wonder what it is. She planned it all. Meanwhile, all these people are getting ready to go in the area of the intersection known as the Stash. They're all waiting there. We've got the karaoke set up. And I am none the wiser. I'm driving down the road, getting close to the destination, and I see a person that is in our stable of friends. His name is Craig. It's the guy who used to own that car dealership. He used to say this car runs and drives out good. Remember that? Highway Auto or something like that? Craig. He still does that for a living, but at a different place. I'm like, what the fuck is Craig doing at the intersection? Why is he? Wait, are we going to, is he part of? And I still didn't get it. And then I went, oh no. And I don't think I've ever shared this with anybody that I was tipped off because I saw Craig walking down the street towards the intersection. It's like, oh no, they threw a party for me. Shit. So then it's my job to not make anybody feel bad and make sure that you act good and surprised. So I did. And I've kept that secret with me till this point, till right now. I was 10 years ago, obviously. Who cares? All the people that were at the party won't even talk to me anyway, so what does it matter? Kidding. So yeah, I walk in, surprise! Oh my God. And away we go. My big problem with the surprise parties is just there's so many people to talk to. It's like awkward, you know? I mean, everybody's making a big deal about it, and I'm kind of like a not a big deal guy. Just keep it low key. But everybody loved seeing the look on the face, so they all went home happy. I remember one dude singing karaoke who swore he was good at it, and it was one of the shittiest things I've ever heard in my life. My dentist, Dr. Lee, one of his hygienists or I don't know, assistants, her husband, swore he was a great karaoke singer. And I'm like, you're kidding, right? Because as soon as this guy started to warble on, it was just a shit show. It was like terrible. Oh, but man, it turned out to be a pretty good time. As far as surprise parties go, when I turned 30, same damn thing. It was at my house in Knoxville. All the folks from the old WIMZ regime. This is before I knew Greg and Chris. They hadn't even moved. But it might have been at about the same time that Greg and Chris were there. I'm not sure when they actually showed up in Knoxville, but I wasn't working with them. I was doing I was working at WIMZ with Billy Kidd, Billy Magoo, and Zane in the morning. Everybody thought that, because there was three guys, Billy, Magoo, and Zane. And everybody thought, well, who's Billy Magoo? No, dummy. There's three people on the show. It was just a disaster. Did not work. Hang on, coffee. I normally don't drink anything on the show, but today's a special day. That's the one thing I get today is the cup of coffee because it's a huge distraction. In fact, let me finish it right now. Sorry. Thank you. Madison just got me this cup. It says Michigan's better half, and it features the UP. I don't think so. Whoever thinks the UP is better needs a punch in the dick. You know what we have in the Lower Peninsula? More than 2-lane roads. When I say 2 lanes, I mean one lane going one way and the other lane going the other way. The average speed in the UP is like 13 miles an hour. Oh, my God. All right. So the Knoxville scene, yeah, same thing. I'm driving to this house. Well, it's where we lived. And Dinah sent me out to get something. I'm driving back and I see this dude from work walking across the street, right in front of where I'm driving. I'm like, what the hell is Sean Nunley doing crossing the street, walking towards my house? Huh? Wow. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. And sure enough, I go in the backyard. Surprise. Oh, my God. There it is. 20, no idea. That was when I was still drinking. It makes sense that I can only remember the birthdays where I wasn't a drunk. 30, 40, and 10. 20, I don't recall what happened at all. No idea. I remember the 10th birthday, though. I was at my house. I remember the participants. Tina Marie Jaworski was there. Keith Lang was there. Kenny Walker was there. Matt Smith was there. All of us local white kids from Warren got together for Eric's 10th birthday. Okay? We hadn't yet discovered beating off, so we were, into just hanging out, playing Army Men, maybe a little kick the can, tag, hide and go seek, open up the presents, get the Evel Knievel stunt cycle, and maybe the Bionic Man, all that shit from back in the day. And then have the cake, have the ice cream. My mom's probably getting hammered because she's so pissed off at my dad. Here we are 2 years removed from when my dad left town or left the household. So, yeah, I got to put up with that. And all I want to do is celebrate my birthday. My brother Jim was told to get the backyard ready for the participants of the birthday party. That meant he had to pick up all of Queenie and Cindy's dog shit and mow. And Mom said, whatever you do, do not let Cindy or Queenie out after you mow. Okay? Because in case they have to take a dump, that would be a problem. Because all these kids are going to be running around the yard. I remember the words. Don't know how it happened, but somebody let them out. All right? And I know this because a short time later, Peter Batchy slid. His leg gave out on this pile of one of the dog's shit. It was like a slip and slide. You ever step on a pile of shit and you feel that sensation like you're on the moon because the shit has caused your foot to slide in an unorthodox way that makes you realize, oh, fuck, that feels unnatural. Well, sure enough, that happened to old Peter Batchy. And his leg went down, and the shit smear wasn't on the grass, it was on his leg. From the bottom of his knee to the top of his shoe was smeared shit on Peter Batchy's leg. And he's freaking out, and everybody's pointing and laughing at him. And now let me just back up here. If this were me, if I had a 10-year-old kid who was having a birthday party and one of the kids slips in shit, I can tell you that as a grown-up, this is what I would do. I would try to console the kid, and, I will have seen it all at this stage in my life, changing dirty diapers and having 1 million dogs. So this is no big deal. It should just hold your breath, clean off the kid's leg, put his leg in the bathtub, soap him up, wash it, make him feel, hey, no big deal. Sorry that happened to you. Let's go play. Let's do the piñata or pin the tail on the donkey or, maybe some toss across. This is going to be a good time. Forget that happened. No one's going to make fun of you for the rest of your fucking life going forward because you slid in the shit. Little did I know that would happen. But, that's what I would do as a parent. You know what I wouldn't do and what my mom did do? Give me a piece of paper towel and say, clean it up. What? How the fuck? To me? I'm the birthday boy. Why the fuck am I cleaning up Batchy's leg? And I didn't even let the fucking dog out anyway. So why the fuck do I got to do this shit? Sure enough, man, I remember it. I was traumatized. I can picture the shit right now. It was a light brown hue, okay? And it was hot and on his leg, and he's like all grossed out, and I'm there, and I'm trying, and of all the things to clean it with, paper towel. I mean, come on. You gotta do a lot more than that, and then you gotta wash the kid's leg because he's got a biohazard on his body, for God's sake. And my mom makes me do it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Holy shit. That's a type of thing where at the time I was like just grossed out. And now looking back on it as a father and grandfather, why would you make the birthday boy, if anything, make my brother Jim do it? It was bullshit. So, I remember dry heaving and then puking. I'm like going, it was like, it completely got into my head, and I was, and then I did it. The dry heaving led to puke, and then my whole birthday lunch, the hot dogs came up, and the birthday cake, the ice cream. It was like cold on my throat because the ice cream had just gotten down into my belly. So here I am. I'm 1 inch away from shit all over Peter Batchy's leg. My mom's in the other room smoking a Merit. And Jim's like, he's gone. Who knows where Jim is, my brother. And here I am puking as Peter Batchy is like, clean my leg off. It's just one of the worst things that's ever happened. That was a terrible 10th birthday. And it all happened. That's a true story. I'm still pissed about it to this day. My God. Looking back on the decades today, 50. Wow. Oh, honestly, I feel pretty damn good about this. I'm healthy. I'm happy. Got a lot going on right now in a positive sense. Working on this kidney thing. That's like the big thing going. And, man, I can't wait for the next 10 years. That's a damn fine attitude to have right there. I can just imagine. I figure that, honestly, I think I'm going to end up talking into a microphone until the day I die. So I fully predict that by the time I'm 60, in some way, shape, or form, I'll be speaking into a microphone, looking ahead to the next 10 years when I turn 70. My God. And I feel great. I was talking about this with Diana yesterday on the podcast. I feel like I'm in my 20s. My spirit is high, emotionally, physically. I feel great. And my attitude, I feel good about that. I'm not going to lie. I have my ups and downs, my moments where I'm like, oh, things are bad. Things are tough, but those are fleeting. And all I have to do is have my beautiful wife smack me upside the head and I'm good to go. So, hey, thanks. Because here we are 1 year, 6 months, and 1 day into this adventure of self-sustained, no dependency on radio type of thing that we've managed to carve out. So I appreciate you all for engaging me, enjoying the podcast, sticking with it, even during the shitty days, because I mean, let's be honest, when the show started, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but the learning curve has allowed me to do this for at a different level going forward. It's gotten easier to be able to do. So I appreciate you. Eric at ericzaneshow.com is the email. In fact, I should point that out because got a lot of people that are weighing in. Happy birthday, says Tyler. Amanda writes, Happy Naked World Entrance Day. Celebrate and end it naked tonight. Probably the most sexual listener of the podcast, Amanda. Hell, she sells things that people put into their bodies. Okay? That's not all she does with her pure romance business. Free plug for you. So thank you very much. She says, I think you were born on the day the Beatles broke up. Thoughts? I don't know if that's true. I know it's the same day that Ringo Starr was born. Ringo and I were born on the same day. He was born 30 years before me. What date, let me ask the staff, did the Beatles break up? Sorry, ma'am. April 10th, 1970. So you're a little off, but there is a Beatle-related birthday, and that would be Ringo. Okay. So that's what I got for you on the birthday front. That's about it, man. That is about it. Today will be a lot like most days. I've got to work my ass off getting the best of shows ready to go. Maybe some client things I need to come up with. And I got to do 2 weeks worth of the Insane Asylum for Q100 in Northern Michigan. And cake and ice cream. Got the strawberry cake with the vanilla cream cheese frosting, the ice cream. Got my kids coming over. Awesome. It's just the way I want it. The open of the Eric St. Show podcast, first of all, is brought to you by the Eric St. Show podcast hat sale. I'm getting all sorts of Facebook posts and emails from friends of the show who have purchased an Eric Zane Show podcast hat, and I'm having a sale. The Flex Fit hats were $33. We're hoping to make a killing on those. Larry and Jericho said, hey, man, let's do hats. I go, yeah, man, those will be good sellers. And they're like, yeah, okay, let's charge them. Let's charge the audience $33. I go, yeah, that sounds good. You guys get $6.50. I'll get $6.50. Because, they're like $19.95 is what we pay. So there you go. All right, sounds good. Well, we sold like none of them. So now Larry and Jericho's wives are bitching at them because there's boxes of hats in their basements, and they've been given an ultimatum. Their wives said either get rid of the hats or we're leaving you. So you got to go buy the hats. Nobody's making any money on it. There's a huge sale on the stupid hats. Flex Fit, they were $33. Now they're $19.95, and that's the price. Now there's no tax. There's no extra shipping or shit like that. Just buy the stupid hat and get it out of Dick Face's basement. $19.95. The snapbacks are $15.95. They were more too. I don't know what the price on those. I think I don't wear hats. So I don't know, but the Eric Zane Show podcast hat, $19.95 and $15.95. And when they're gone, they're gone. Never buying another hat again. Okay, this is a one-of-a-kind item. Buy the damn hats. I've got an AC heating and cooling guy here on the Eric Zane Show podcast. His name is Joe Martinez. This is how it works in the podcast. When my marketing message meets the consumer's needs, what that means is I'm always giving the marketing message out, and it goes in one ear and out the other for most of you until you have a need. So I've been talking about Joe Martinez for a year and a half. Somebody has been hearing that every day for the past year and a half. But, unless their AC goes out or their furnace goes out, they're like, But then when that happens, they're like, hey, Zane, what's the name of the guy who does heating and cooling for you? Aha! Gotcha! Joe Martinez. A&E heating and cooling. So it's the letter A and then the ampersand thing and then the E, heating and cooling. Their website is aeheatingcooling.net. Call this guy, Joe, though. This is his number, 616-516-8579. This is a true mom and pop. All right? One van on the street. Honk at him when you see him. Give him the finger. And call him up. He'll pick it up or leave a message. Joe Martinez. Utilizing the Comfort Maker air conditioners and furnaces. Comfort with confidence with the Comfort Maker. Okay, one of the Zaniacs is Kim Lazara. Now, I've known Kim since I was a adolescent boy. And, Kim was a couple years older than me, and you all know the story. I don't want to go down that road again, but I had the biggest crush on her. Holy cow! Raging hormones. Well, fast forward to a few months ago, I see that she's watching the Facebook Live. All right. On Patreon, I discussed this and told the story about how when I was in adolescence, my raging hormones made Kim to be the object of my teenage desires. Holy crap. I told that story. And you know what the Zaniacs did? They ratted me out. Frickin' boring Dean addressed her directly and said, hey, Eric talked about you on the Patreon. You should sign up. And I just spit everywhere. Sorry, I was spitting back then, too. And so she did. She heard me tell the story about how I used to touch myself. So that was terribly embarrassing. And it led to just a crazy scenario. Well, then come to find out that Kim distributes a product called Singular, which has a line of products for metabolism, jumpstarting your fat loss, your dieting, expert nutrition, energy, metabolism. These are all products that Singular makes and she distributes. I want you to check it out. If this is something that sounds, because especially when you get old like me, you can do all the diet and the exercise you want, but sometimes you need that little oomph to get you over the hill. Once you get going, you're good. But sometimes you need a little extra. That's what Singular, what their products are all about. Clinically tested and just an amazing product line. When you go to ericzaneshow.com, click on the turquoise X. That's Kim's. It takes you right to her Facebook page and reach out to her about their product line. You will love this. So if you've been struggling with any of the things that I talked about, reach out to Kim Lazara, distributor of Singular products. Last but not least, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, 231-332-6505, NMLS number 3035. Now, Van Dyke Mortgage has been around since 1987. No matter where you are in the listening audience, you call upon Mario for a mortgage. You don't have to be in his home state of Michigan. You can be anywhere. And I encourage you, Interview a couple other people about your potential mortgage. Just make Mario part of that process. Call him at his desk, 231-332-6505. All right. That's a lot. But I always have a lot. So I like to give you more than you bargained for on the Eric Zane Show podcast. Okay. Got an update for you on a Karen. Remember, let's see. Yesterday it was Zombie Karen Day. And today I want to update you on the Central Park Karen. It's been remarkable. Since the whole COVID thing that we've had, the major milestones in the past 6 months have been COVID, George Floyd, and the whole race thing, and Karens, and people misbehaving, everybody escalating, everybody freaking out, nobody taking a breath. I don't know about you, but when with all of the things that have happened with all the things that I talked about, at no point ever did I start to lose my shit. And I think it's a perfect example of how fragile the brain is to a lot of people. There are a lot of fucked up people that it takes virtually anything like this to get them off of their game. Now, this Central Park Karen, which is, I believe, Amy Cooper is her name. This is the one I'm referring to.
I'm being threatened by a man in the ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
That short clip doesn't do it justice. The black guy was walking around looking at birds in that part of Central Park. He asked the lady, hey, there's a sign there that says you got to leash your dog. It's important that they are leashed here because it's not great for this environment. It's set up for bird watching. Your dog's running around acting like a fucking maniac. He didn't say this, but can you leash your dog? And she said, well, the trails are closed, so my dog needs exercise. And he's like, not my problem. And he had dog treats on him to get the dog's attention. Now, I don't understand why he did that or what that even does, but he was giving the dog treats. It's weird. But she ends up flipping out and calls the cops on the guy and makes up a story that he's attacking her, and he wasn't, and that was it. Okay, so I've kind of got mixed feelings on this. No, I guess I don't. When this story was raw and emotional, and I think I'm like this on all of these, whenever these crazy people do crazy shit, I am all about bad things happening to them. The job loss, if they've done something illegal, the book being thrown at them. Like the guy who was on his bike riding through Maryland, whatever, and there was some kids hanging up Black Lives Matter handmade flyers that they made, and that dick ripped them down and acted like an asshole and like assaulted. I think that, I'm totally okay with things like that, of that guy being canceled. And I'm pretty much okay with Karen here being canceled because I think it needs to happen. And I think that the world needs to know about it so that maybe people will stop acting like freaking morons. You set an example, and then it stays burned in people's brains so that maybe the next time a person who might engage someone like this would think twice about it and not act like an idiot. But the guy involved in this, the black dude, he was, he posted the video, and then the world ended for this Amy Cooper. She always had like a prominent job. She lost her job. Remember, she was strangling her own dog, the place where she adopted the dog from. They came back and took the dog from her. So, lots of terrible things are happening to this crazy bitch. And so I kind of go back and forth. Is this all appropriate? Is it not appropriate? And I kind of think it is. I kind of think that the more that this happens to people, when they do stupid shit like this, trying to make this guy make it seem like it was completely racist, it was horrible. I'm kind of okay with this happening, even well removed from the scenario, because a lot of times you're like in the fervor of the moment and you're like, oh boy, cancel, fuck this bitch, she's crazy. And then after a while you calm down and like, I don't know. But now she's got legal things that are happening to her as the Central Park Karen has been charged.
Tonight, a woman from New York City who was seen on camera angrily confronting a black man in Central Park was hit with a criminal charge today that could send her to jail for up to a year. Here's CBS's Errol Barnett.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
This Memorial Day incident showing 41-year-old Amy Cooper calling the police on a black man who asked her to leash her dog has now resulted in a misdemeanor charge.
Please send the cops immediately.
Manhattan's district attorney announcing Monday Cooper is being prosecuted for falsely reporting an incident and is to appear before a judge October 14th. If found guilty, she faces up to a year in jail. Cooper's lawyer says she'll be found not guilty and noted she already lost her job, home, and public life.
She was going to tap into a deep, deep, dark vein of racism.
Speaking to Gayle King last month, the man who recorded the video, Christian Cooper, said Amy's behavior was racist, but stopped short of calling for further action.
I'm not sure someone's life should be defined by 60 seconds of poor judgment.
Wow.
Errol Barnett, CBS News, New York.
So, you got the guy saying, I don't think she, 60 seconds. So, all right. I mean, I can understand both sides of that. But they're like, okay, charge her. But, I was reading an article in the New York Post that said she's been punished enough. She lost her job. I mean, I think that's, to her, losing the dog, losing the job, public. I mean, and she would totally have to change her look. I mean, she might have to end up moving away. I mean, nowadays, the way who would have thought that this is what could happen? However many years ago, there was no such thing as canceling. When I turned 30, there was no such thing as canceling. Hell, even when I was 40, that would seem. I guess it could have happened. I'm sure it did happen. But nowadays, the world is watching. Be careful how you behave. And now it's getting worse because everybody's like on the lookout and more people are acting stupid. Yesterday in the podcast, if you did not have a chance to check it out, I went through a whole ordeal to try to get a guy on the show. And boy, was it an adventure. And somebody said we were, the juice was worth the squeeze. And it took a lot to get him on the podcast. D. Adonis was my guest. Who is that? Well, he was the dude who shot the video in Grand Rapids of the lady who climbed out of the window off her rocker completely butt-ass naked. And he was a great narrator of that Facebook Live video that has been viewed by hundreds of thousands of people. So I had been trying to get the guy on the podcast. And so I sent a message after message leading up to yesterday's show. Okay. And then while I was on the show, I actually grabbed my phone and looked at Messenger, and D had responded. And he said, I'm sorry, I cannot be on your show because I saw a post that you liked from back in 2010 that was insulting to Michelle Obama. I mean, I did a thumbs up, I guess. And also, you have the Confederate flag. And I'm like, what's he looking at? So I wrote back. I was like, what are you talking about? And I was very confused. And then he gave the screenshot of this post from 2010 where somebody was talking about something Michelle Obama had done. And I don't even remember. And so I'm like, wait, what? What is going on here? And the Confederate flag. And he goes, yeah. And here's the picture. And it was a picture of my grandson that I posted on Independence Day from 6 years ago. It was one of those, here's your memories on Facebook, and it showed Grayson when he was just one wearing a T-shirt that with a patriotic bent to it. It was a T-shirt with a tie, and the top part of the tie was blue, and the part that hangs down was red with stars on the whole thing. Happy 4th of July. And I was like, well, wait, what do you mean Confederate flag? He goes, yeah, in the American flag, there's no stars on the red part. So your grandson here is wearing a Confederate flag. And I went, D, are you fucking nuts? I actually wrote, you're crazy. Go fuck yourself. And then I couldn't leave that alone. I was getting pissed by the second at this guy. And he's a local dude from Grand Rapids, and he's a law student. And all I wanted to do was get him on the podcast and talk about seeing that woman butt-ass naked, and now it's turned into him calling me a racist because I posted a picture of my grandson 6 years ago. Time doesn't matter. He wasn't wearing a Confederate flag shirt. Are you kidding me? I've been the one to say, take the fucking flag down. So I was like, are you crazy? You got to be, I'm going to kick your ass. So I told him to go fuck himself. And then I reached out and I go, wait a minute. In addition to going, go fuck yourself, I need to talk to you. And then he comes on the show. He agreed to it. I'm like, thank God. I go, all right, D, let's address this. And then I ended up, so at this point, the car is in the median. Metaphorically, I'm hitting trees or going over the car. There's turf flying everywhere, and I'm pissed off at this guy. So how the hell did we get to this point? So, but then he gets on, and I say, dude, what is going on here? There's no, and I explained to him what is happening. And he understood that there is no, he goes, because he said, I can't be on a show that is racist. I'm like, me? What are you, fucking nuts? Racist? I'm the farthest thing from racist, you fucker. And so I called him a dumb shit. And then we went after it. And then I got him on, and it turned out that it worked out. I mean, somehow we saved it. And he understood where I was coming from. And then I said to him, I go, you're like super woke, aren't you? I mean, how in the world do you exist? I'm like, do you have any friend? I go, what do you do when you have people who don't agree with you? I don't talk to them. I go, what if it's a family member? What if you have a family member that you don't agree with or has an opinion about? Oh, so he's like super on that side. However, we got along great. And I really enjoyed the conversation. You must go back and check that out. Okay, I want him on the show again because he provides a perspective that I cannot give you. I don't have. I come from a set of sensibilities that are true to me, and his are completely different. And that, when it comes to pot stirring and conversation and pro con, your opinion, my opinion, you want that. You have to. Oh my God! So right away, I said to him, I go, dude, you can do this for a living. I'm just telling you, you're good at it. And I think you've got a future in this line of work. But he wants to be a lawyer. But I think he's going to be a damn good one because he's got it. He's just something you can tell about somebody like that. Now, I agree with not everything the guy says, but who gives a shit? But I've gotten some feedback about my conversation with D. Adonis. Let me read this to you. All right. Eric, this person writes, D from yesterday is an example of an over-woke, over-exaggerated world that we are cascading toward. F these people and that guy. He doesn't know shit about you and has you all wrong, which is the typical person these days. Nah, I don't think it's the typical person. I think he did have me wrong, and he doesn't know shit about me, and I informed him. So hopefully he learned his lesson. He wrote, you had to basically beg this guy to come on the show because he misinterpreted and totally got facts about you wrong, and yet held you accountable and claimed he reads a lot. Spend a lot less time being woke and more time being awake. Signed, Anonymous. It's a great point. And I think that, I don't know if D, because I don't know him well enough, is the type of guy to admit something like that. But I'm willing to look past all of that shit. I don't care. He is who he is. He's part of this hodgepodge of humanity that makes your opinion worth something, my opinion worth something, his opinion worth something. And I think people like D do have something, do have value in the world. I really do. But you have to consider the fact that he sees the world from a certain perspective because a series of things that have happened to him in his life, and that must be taken into account. He was on the show, though. He heard me out. So don't indict him. I like Adonis. I hope to have him back. All right. As always, you can reach out, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Nick, regarding Amy Cooper, the Central Park Karen who was canceled, he writes, cancel culture is a mess. To them, it's fine until they're the ones being canceled. So, who knows what he means about that, whether or not he thinks that she should be canceled. My thing is, nowadays, I think we're going to get to a point where people are just going to be more on guard with how they act, knowing that when you see that phone up, oh boy, you better turn your attitude really, really quick. You better just shut up. De-escalate. Calm the fuck down. You've worked all your life to get to a certain point, and to have it all wiped away because of a viral video, you better be on guard. Be behaved. Be kind to people. That's the game. This is the ball, the field that you're on. These are the rules, and that can be held against you. So I suggest that if you are in a spot where you think maybe it's getting off the rails and you see those cell phones popping up at you, oh boy, dial it back, cover your head up, and walk away. Shut your mouth. You do not need a pound of flesh, because I don't want you losing your job. I don't want you losing everything you've worked so hard for because you were mad. That's basically how I think you need to look at it. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what we're dealing with. Okay. Dear Meathead happens tomorrow on the show. I want you to reach out with questions for Dad, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Whatever it may be, I will have a best of version of Dear Meathead next week on the show. We will not have Dear Meathead, but Dear Meathead will be tomorrow, brought to you, of course, by JM Synthetics. If you have a question for Dad, oh yeah, I wanted to send that to Zane. Send it to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Subject line, Meathead or Dear Meathead, so that I know where it is. I hate scrambling for questions. So if you could, load me up even with the simplest thing. Meathead, what do you think about fireworks? Whatever it may be. One line, no big deal. If it is a little bit more involved of a question, that's okay. I can edit it for Dad. But send it along. Eric at ericzaneshow.com for Dear Meathead. Okay. One of my latest sponsors is Metalworks Body Shop. Officially, they are known as Metalworks Body Shop. They're in Coopersville, Michigan. And they do cars and boats and all that stuff, but they don't really talk about that too much. What they really like to work on is RVs. And this is the season. 'Tis the season in Michigan where we're finally out. The parks are open. People are venturing out. And when you crack that thing up, call upon Metalworks Body Shop. All right. That is the one place in Michigan to get your RV repaired, especially West Michigan. It's the only guys that do this. Everybody else are losers. They're hacks. There's only one place with the biggest spray booth in the state of Michigan, Metalworks Body Shop. Okay. Call upon these shit kickers. They will do a great job in getting your fifth wheel travel trailer, motorhome, whatever it is, in good shape after you crack it up. And don't let it ruin your weekend. If it happens on a Friday, just relax. Just remember, there is a place that does that. It's Metalworks Body Shop. When you click on their logo at ericzaneshow.com, it takes you right to their Facebook page. They do have a website too, metalworksbodyshop.com. But quickest way to get a hold of them, just go to the Facebook page. All the info's there. You can see the before and after photos of some of the things they've done. And, they like I said, they do cars and trucks. Like I'm bringing my dad's truck to them to repair the rocker panels under the doors. So they do everything. And I just can't wait to get that thing repaired, man. Okay, thanks to Metalworks Body Shop. Sarah Honda Granville, buy a car from these folks. That's right. I don't care where you are. Buy a car from Sarah Honda Granville. They are at the corner of Kennewa and 44th Street in Granville, Michigan, next to the Cracker Barrel, across from the car wash and the Burger King. You can't miss it. go see Cameron or any of the folks, mention my name at Sarah Honda Granville. Some of the best cars in the world are Honda products. They last forever. They hold their resale value. It's tough to buy one pre-owned because people just hang on to them. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Honda vehicles. And hell, the Civic that Madison drives right now is at like 250,000 miles on that thing. It's awesome. My gosh. SarahHondaGranville.com. Saturday is the next gun school. CPL training at Prince Army. That happens in the CPL classroom of Holland Township, Michigan. If you got nothing going on Saturday and you want to be able to get your CPL, you got to take the class. Put in the time, do the classwork. It's going to take you all day. You start at about 8:30 in the morning. Go to about 3:30. You're going to get range time. You're going to fire a pistol. Even if you don't have a gun, even if you've never fired a pistol, all you need is $125, a pencil, and yourself. That's it. All the information is available at the Facebook page of Prince Army, which I have linked up at ericzaneshow.com, or just call retired U.S. Army Major Steve Prince at 616-204-1705. Do mention me when you call upon him for gun training class. Okay. The latest bit of race stupidity, and I don't have all race stupidity. I've got a baseball story that I need to get to. It's what happens when baseball and fat shaming meet, and another story about the Rona that's going to make you go, really? That's a thing? But first, we're still in the race thing going on. I am not going to get into the president and Bubba Wallace. I know it's there, but I'm done with Wallace. I'm done with the story. I actually have ripcorded on it for a number of reasons. It was to a point of diminishing returns. Any more discussion about Wallace and the noose was going to lead to consternation and anguish. I am aware that the president let NASCAR and Wallace have it. I am aware that Wallace has responded. Enjoy it. I'm not participating. I am participating in these dumb shits. What's going on here? Well, let me just play you the clip. See if you can figure it out, okay? People having a good time.
Jimmy Gallo, you said you have disrespected our sport, Nick. Now you're set to die.
Now you're set to die. Huh? Wait, hold on a second. Let me listen to that again. So young people probably listening to music. Several of them laughing. Something funny just happened.
You have disrespected our sport, Nick. Now you're set to die.
I'm not exactly sure what the words are. I just heard, now you are set to die. So something silly, probably nothing, right? Oh, shit. This is what happens when you combine young people, cell phones, current events, stupidity, and bread dough. Fired so fast, you'll freak. Let's see. You got a handful of people, young people working at a Jimmy John's, and 4 people. They're all laughing, having a great time, and they have fashioned a noose out of Jimmy John's bread dough at some location in Georgia. This happened over the 4th of July. The 4 white idiots, 2 dudes, 2 chicks, make a noose. They put it over the head of one of the kids, and they're goofily saying you have been sentenced to die. Okay. Little devil's advocate here before I get into the further intricacies of the story. Had we not had George Floyd, had we not had Bubba Wallace, had we not had protests and Black Lives Matter, this would not have been a news story. No one, it would have never have been seen. If it would have been circulated out on social media, which is what happened here. These stupid kids shot the video and then somebody posted the video. Why would you do that? How can you not be aware of how things look because of circumstances that I was just listing? All of those circumstances, that's your playing field. Any person who has any amount of brain power, young or old, knows that because of what's gone on, any type of behavior like this is going to be scrutinized under a certain lens. Okay? I've learned this myself. And there are consequences when you do this, because and so if all of these things hadn't happened, we may not be looking at what is taking place. But oh boy. Everybody's fired. Not only are the 4 people involved, the young people, and I don't know their ages. I have no idea. I don't know if they're 16. I don't know if they're 26. No clue. I just know that they're all out. Jimmy John's corporate says, all right, enough of you. And they actually fired everybody at the place. Like if you worked there, you don't work there now. I don't think it's that extreme. But they ended up firing the manager, too, who was not involved in that. They ended up cleaning house in a big way. Now, I don't know if maybe he's a dumb shit or he or she's a dumb shit, but that's how this goes. They fashioned the noose out of dough that they used to bake bread and proceeded to try it out. One worker slipped, they're all white, slipped the noose around the neck while another holds the end up as it shows the guy hanging. 2 others are filming this and everybody's laughing. The whole thing is, they indicate in the story, is gross to watch, especially how funny they think it is. You know, yes, I understand that because of what has happened in the world, this looks even more terrible. Can we say that these are racist? No, you can't. And I don't think it's safe to say that. Should they be fired? They should be fired under the optics of what we have right now. Again, it would not have made even any bit of a headline had nothing negative happened race-wise in the world in the past several months. But because of all of the things I detailed, that's why this is a big deal. They write on TMZ, you know who didn't find it amusing? Jimmy John's themselves. The corporate headquarters responded to the video, says all of the fools had been fired. They write, we have zero tolerance for racism or discrimination in any form. You know, again, devil's advocate here. Because they're being goofy and stupid, I think it looks racist and discriminatory because of the current climate. I think that we have to be very careful in this day and age to just go and label everybody as a racist because they did this. I mean, who, when they were a kid, didn't do something silly like this at one point in time, and you never once thought it was racist in any way? Nowadays, if you even make a gesture like you're being hung, or like, oh God, I'm dead, and you put your head sideways and pantomime that you're holding a rope over your head, holy shit, that's the end of the world. You're a racist. I don't think that's the case at all. So I think we need to be careful in saying who's racist, who's being discriminatory. Nobody was discriminated in any way. It was 4 people being stupid and are now in deep, deep shit because of the optics of the current climate. That's what's happening, in my opinion. And I don't want to hear this. He's 90% wrong. I think I'm right on this one. You bastards got to admit I'm making some good sense here. What do you think about that? Email eric@ericzaneshow.com. All right. Jimmy John's, we have zero tolerance for racism or discrimination in any form. Yeah, it looks terrible, but I don't think you're being racist. I don't think you're discriminating against anybody. You're being a stupid shit and it looks bad and you should be fired. But I don't know if they're racist or if this is racism or discrimination in any way. The franchisee has taken immediate action. Employees have been terminated. Excuse me for my voice. The actions seen in this video are completely unacceptable and do not represent the Jimmy John's brand. I get it. Local reports say that even the manager at this location got fired. So basically, it seems like they cleaned house. Probably a good idea. A lot of bad apples we see here. Yeah, I don't like it either. I don't like that they're doing that. But now, what also is going to happen, and it gets around to the whole topic of the big bad internet is going to find these people, and God forbid if they're like 15, 16, 17, 18, because people are going to destroy them. And I don't know if that's right. Was it right to put a noose around your head and act like you're being hung? Of course not. But nobody knows if they have hate in their hearts. I think we got to be careful about that. All right. Okay, we got a ton more to get to. I cannot wait to get to the story that I have next for you about baseball player Pablo Sandoval. He's known as Kung Fu Panda, okay? Because he's a little bit heavy. You know, he's kind of a hefty dude. In fact, I made it a point. I wanted to get the book on this guy because he's had a hell of a career in the major leagues. Despite the fact that he's not a prototypical baseball player in terms of how he looks. But this guy is cut from the Babe Ruth of getting in shape. And I love the guy. I've always loved this guy, Pablo Sandoval, 3-time World Series champion, 12-year Major League Baseball career. Well, the shit has hit the fan because of something that a reporter did. And now the reporter did it and fat shamed him. And now the reporter is mad at people for fat shaming? What? You got to hear this. This is a really screwed up story. All right. That comes up next. Thanks again to Blue Frost IT for their help always being the managed IT service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast. You can call them at 616-200-8550. Love them. Finally, small and medium-sized businesses have the opportunity to have an IT department. You just got to pay for this monthly fee. It's like a subscription service for their skill set, okay? And you don't have to pay for the parking card. You don't have to pay for insurance. You don't have to pay them like a regular employee. It's just having them once a month in the fold so that they're checking up on everything that you have, making sure that you are virus-free, making sure that your equipment is up to date. You have all the updates lined up. If you need new equipment, they do it all. They are in business for small and medium-sized business at Blue Frost IT. They sponsor my Twitter page. Periscope video going on right now. The at Eric Zane Show, Blue Frost IT Twitter handle. Call them at 616-200-8550. Love them. Shoreliners wants to stripe the parking lot. Shorelinerstriping.com. If you have a parking lot that needs striping, you know, you pull into a parking lot, all the paint's wore off, looks like shit. That's a first impression moment right there. Make that parking lot look good by getting it striped with a fresh coat of the yellow. Have them paint the arrows. They also do the inside of your workplace, striping the inside of your workplace. Some of these places, like, you got to walk this way, follow this stripe, or stay in your zone because of coronavirus. They stripe the workplace. They also stripe athletic fields. Shorelinerstriping.com. You can click on their logo at my website, takes you right to their page. And finally, the sponsor of Benny, the one-eyed wonder dog, A&D Cleaning. Call Amy for an estimate. If you're in West Michigan, you want to get an estimate on her services once a month, once a week, every day, doesn't matter. One time only, 616-550-3644 for A&D Cleaning. Love Amy. A&D Cleaning. You can click on their logo at ericzaneshow.com. Takes you right to their Facebook page, which is in need of a makeover. Sorry, guys, but you got to update that damn thing. But their information is on it. If you miss any of this, you can get a hold of them through there. In case you're just tuning in, you're wondering why the hell do you look like that? It is the 50th birthday of yours truly. Diana made me wear this hat, this ridiculous hat. What if I can get it on over the headphones? Is that even a possibility? She would love that. I don't know if it's going to stay. All right, there we go. I'll leave it just like that for the rest of the podcast. How's that sound? You good with that? Go ahead, screenshot it. Fun pictures, Photoshop. Take the screenshot, do it, caption it, whatever you want. Have at it. When it's your birthday, you deserve to be made fun of, mocked. 50 years old. Oh, my gosh. Holy cow. Side note, something that's just popped into my brain. I'm considering driving to Los Angeles for my meeting with the UCLA transplant team. If you don't know, I'm trying to donate a kidney to a friend. So August 10th is it's a Monday, is my first meeting with the transplant team. So if I did that, I'd have to move the TC Paintball War number 9. You know, I don't think I'll do it because it would take 4 to 5 days for me to drive in the RV to California. And I don't know. I'm just worried about coronavirus. But I got to back off that. I got to understand that it might not be exactly as it seems. But I am a little bit paranoid about flying. I mean, LA County is like the biggest, one of the most infected counties in the entire U.S. But I should be okay. Sorry, it's just burning on my brain. Where was I? Okay. So this baseball player for the San Francisco Giants, he started his career with the Giants, and then he went to Boston for a couple of years. Known as Kung Fu Panda because he's a bit... he's a little bit hefty, okay? And similar to the character Kung Fu Panda. The line on this guy, he's won all sorts of awards. He's World Series MVP. He was in Game 1 of the 2012 World Series. He hit 3 home runs in that game, only the 4th person to hit 3 home runs in a World Series game. He's a 2-time All-Star, 3 World Series championships. He's been in Major League Baseball for 12 years. He's from Venezuela, Pablo Sandoval. Now, his stature is why they call him Kung Fu Panda. 5'10", 268 pounds. Looking at some more of his credentials in the Career Highlights Award. As I said, 2-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champ, World Series MVP. He hit for the cycle once back in 2011. He won the Babe Ruth Award, which I think that's not given to somebody who looks the most like Babe Ruth. It's given annually to the guy who is the best performance in the postseason. So there you go. So Sandoval, he's won that award. He's a hefty dude. And, okay, so that's it. Started with the Giants, went a couple years with the Red Sox. Now he's back with the Giants. There's a guy who covers the San Francisco Giants by the name of Andrew Baggerly. And Andrew Baggerly was at they're doing these summer workouts, which is getting ready for the baseball season, And Pablo Sandoval shows up. And he is standing on third base fielding ground balls. And this reporter, Andrew Baggerly, goes, "Oh, my God, look at Sandoval. He looks like shit." This is him thinking this. "Oh, fuck, my God, he looks fat as fuck. Holy crap." So this guy goes the extra mile to get a picture of Sandoval. And he does so by actually holding up his iPhone, like the camera part, to the part of binoculars that you look into. So if you hold binoculars up to your face, you put your eyes up to the one spot. He's putting an iPhone up to the binoculars in order to get as close of a picture as possible, because He's way far away, and he goes, oh, my God, I got it. I'm so far away, there's no way I can get an up-close picture of how fat Sandoval looks standing at third. So I've got to go the extra mile and hold the binoculars up to the iPhone in order, because he might come off the field, and the world needs to see this fat fuck. That's what Baggerly is saying. So he takes a picture of Sandoval, and it's true. He looks enormous, and he's always been a big dude, like I indicated. But in this particular picture, he looks massive. All right, big deal. I mean, you don't hang around the major leagues at 268 pounds, 5'10", because you're not a terrific baseball player. The guy plays third base, I believe first base, and he catches too, and he can hit the shit out of the ball. So this fucker takes a picture of him, fat as shit, and then he posts it, and he captions it with Pablo Sandoval taking grounders at third base. His throws appear to have good carry. Now, that line, his throws appear to have good carry. A lot of people said that line was also part of the whole joke of him posting that picture. And I don't get it. I don't understand how that's a fat joke, but a lot of people that weighed in on this said, yeah, you knew exactly what you were doing when you posted that picture of him when it looked like shit, when he looked that big, and you knew exactly what you were doing with that line. Okay, so this is what happened. That's actually a thing. Everything that I've just described to you happened. Baggerly went the extra mile to get the picture of Sandoval. Sandoval looks like shit. He knew that he looked like shit. He knew that the world would unload on Sandoval because he does look like shit. So there you go. This is basically Baggerly, the reporter, making a mockery out of Sandoval because he's posting the picture of him, knowing full well everybody's going to unload on him because that's the way Twitter works. Well, everybody did. They started to beat the shit out of Sandoval and insult him, saying the comments that you would expect. And but there's a lot of people that said, wait a minute, man. Not only did you post it knowing exactly what you were doing, but I mean, and they were like calling him out about that. So Baggerly tries to turn the whole thing on its ear and tries to shame the people who are shaming him in response to his first shaming of him. Because if this dick hadn't posted these pictures from the get-go, none of this would have happened in the first place. Okay? But this guy tries to go after the people who are making fat jokes about the guy, which would never have happened in the first place had he never posted the picture. This is what Baggerly wrote. So why attach the photo? Because I'm one of like a dozen media members who get to watch these workouts, and it's my job to report how the players are looking. Rather than comment on Sandoval's condition, I attached the photo so readers could decide for themselves. I wish I could have included a few more shots of Pablo making throws. It truly wasn't my intention to choose the most unflattering picture that I could. And by the way, nobody's buying it. And they're all like, yeah, right. Do I regret this? As a reporter, no. It's news. It's my job. But on a personal level, heck yeah, I regret it. This is no time to add anxiety to someone's life. And I know Pablo had to be hurt by the reaction that followed. That sucks, and I'm sorry for it. Mostly, I'm disgusted by the ugliness and fat shaming from the media entities that co-opted the tweet into mean-spirited content for clicks. See what he's doing? He's trying to make it seem like he's the good one here. I'd encourage those folks to do some soul searching and personal growth. And until that happens, stop calling themselves journalists. Fuck, you posted the damn thing. What did you expect was going to happen? No actual journalist would write a story with a headline of so-and-so is a fat fucking POS. There is no call for mean-spiritedness, especially now. So let's all strive to be kinder to each other and have an ounce of understanding. And the audience, I'm serious, is having none of it. You look up at the, I mean, he was doing so much backpedaling. Man. So he writes the article. Everybody sees through this smoke screen that he's putting up now. Nobody's buying it, and they call him out on it. I mean, you look at any one of the tweets that I was just reading, and I'll link it up so you can follow along. I don't want to read each individual tweet, but man, he is just getting killed over this, and absolutely right that they should. Let's see here. Andy, come on, dude. You saw the pic before you posted it, and you know damn well athletes are held to a different standard when they show up to these types of camps. You knew this was going to happen. Spare the speech. Nobody is buying it. Stigmatizing someone who arrives unable to field his position or to run to the base due to weight is perfectly okay. If he can field and run the bases, his weight is none of our business. And it's true. Sandoval's always been fat as shit, but he kicks ass. I've always liked that guy. So for that guy to even post the fucking picture and act like, oh, what are you doing making fun of him? Wait a minute. That wasn't my intention when I couldn't get a good shot from where I stood, so I held my phone up to binoculars to show how fat he was before he got off the field. That was not my intention to show that this guy's a fat fuck. Huh, I am appalled that any of you would try to say anything nasty about Pablo Sandoval. Shame on you for doing what I wanted you to do when I posted that picture to show how fat he looks, standing at third base and writing that his throws had good carry, as if implying that he's got a lot of weight behind them, which I'm pretty sure that's what he was trying to say. There goes my hat. The hat ain't staying on. Oh, shit. So there you go. That's my opinion on the thing. That guy knew what the hell he was doing. Don't give me this shit acting like you're all self-righteous about the whole damn deal. Give me a break. Okay. Man, I got to say, on today's podcast, I think I might be making the most sense I've made on this podcast in 384 previous shows. I know that Patriot Nick and Rick from TC Paintball and all these usual boring Dean, Michael Ball. I know you're listening and going, man, Zane, you are hitting the mark today. You are being absolutely perfect. You are batting 1,000. You are like Pablo Sandoval in game 1 of that World Series. Well done, Zane. Eric at ericzaneshow.com if you have any further emails about anything that I'm talking about. At 9:26 a.m., Nick wrote, there's that 10% finally rearing its head. That means I'm making sense to him. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. If you ever get my podcast later than the date it's published and you think, oh, I can't weigh in now on this topic because it's past. Bullshit. Weigh in. I can find a way to shoehorn that thing in there. I'm always looking for feedback on the show. Always. Speaking of that, a couple of loose ends I want to tie. If you could go to my YouTube page, go to YouTube, search Eric Zane Show, and just hit the subscribe button, man, that is going to be an awesome thing. I am making money on YouTube. Some of my videos have a little ad that plays for whatever. Well, I got to a point where I can do that now. I've gotten enough viewership that they run a commercial and they give you money for it. And I'm not making it up. As of right now, as of last night, I have made $2.50 on YouTube. And it's embarrassing, but at the same time, I'm really, really proud of that. And because, basically I'm focusing on little victories for the Eric Zane Show podcast. And whenever I get a little victory, like right now, it says I am up to $2.77 in revenue. And I am up 104 subscribers in the last 28 days. The more subscribers, that opens up so much more because I'm at 5,334 subscribers right now on the YouTube channel. Once you get to 10,000, YouTube then takes you and makes you more available to people. They think, oh boy, a lot of people are subscribing to this guy's page. Well, let's show it off in more people's what you may be interested feed. Okay. So that means you get to 20,000 that much easier. Once you get to 10,000, you're like over the hump. So if you could, please check me out on YouTube, which does have a sponsor, which I still haven't mentioned to you because they haven't given me the green light yet. Just search Eric Zane Show on YouTube, and you would make this big-nosed 50-year-old Armenian very, very happy. Thank you. Got one more story for you in the podcast. Can't wait to read it to you. It's about the Rona. Thank you for all the well wishes on the birthday. Baldwin Ace Hardware brings you everything involved with Diana. Okay? Almost everything. If you go up north, drop by the Kings of DIY Amazingness in the Northland. Nestled in the community of Baldwin, Michigan. When you're headed up to that neck of the woods, keep Baldwin Ace Hardware in mind. All right? They have been a sponsor of the show for quite some time. They have been open throughout the pandemic. They navigated that, kept everybody working as best that they could. And when you go up north, don't bring all the paint supplies and the tackle and the grill and any other lawn implements that you want to leave at your cottage. Don't buy them in the town that you're coming from at the big box store. Please buy all you need at Baldwin Ace Hardware. Thank you to Jennifer and Mike Gilmurray for sponsoring the Eric Zane Show podcast and bringing all of Diana's craziness to the show. You know, that reminds me. I can't go very long without hearing from the love of my life. We are attached at the hip. I think I just want to share something with Diana right now. Hello, how are you?
Good.
So what's going on since you were up here? Any news?
No. I haven't heard anything. I've just been putzing around getting ready for my trip. Getting ready to go to the store.
Yeah. So what do you think about the whole angle about hiking with my bad hip, which is taking a long time to recover from?
I know. We might not just be able to take a long one. We'll have to see.
I'll give you a long one later. Silence. No, yeah, yesterday wasn't a bad day. I only had a couple little setbacks, but it was good. I was off of my feet for most of the day. I think I need to replicate that all the way leading up to the day that we start to hike. You know?
I hear you.
Okay.
Well, we'll see how you do.
Okay, so I just, have you noticed how lovey I've been lately? Have you noticed that, like, I've been telling you things like, I don't know what I'd do without you, and you're the greatest. Have you noticed that? I mean, what's going on there? What do you think's happening?
I think you're getting old. More sentimental.
Yeah? So that's good, right?
Yeah, of course it is good.
Okay. Did you ever think we would be, considering the fact that you and I have celebrated all these decade milestones, 20, 30, 40, 50, did you ever think that would have happened? I mean, the only one you haven't celebrated was 10.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's a crazy question to ask you about. Is there anyone you think wouldn't happen? I'm asking you, did you ever think we'd be together? That's a stupid question. I know we were always meant to be. My God.
That's right. Yeah, that was a dumb question.
We're a pretty good team. I love you so much. Everybody loves you too.
I love everybody. We are a good team.
People are jealous of us. Did you know that? People are like, oh my God, you guys are just a dream couple. We're like, Tom Hanks and his wife, I mean, we're just amazing together.
We are. We just go with the flow, I think.
Isn't that great? Sorry, I interrupted you.
I think that's what makes it easy. It's just we don't get too riled up about anything.
What was the last thing you got mad at me about? Was it there was something that happened with Jacqueline, wasn't there?
Oh, yeah, because you told her the news and you weren't supposed to.
Wait, what?
I think that's what it was, wasn't it?
I got pissed at her, which ultimately you got pissed at me.
Oh, yeah,
What did I
yeah,
get
yeah.
pissed at her about again? Oh, it was
yeah.
the gun. It was the gun.
Yeah, the gun.
It was because when we were shooting the 22, I had a flat out temper tantrum.
You did.
Oh my God. Was that May?
I think it was May.
Yeah, because we were up north. We were shooting that
Yeah, we were
we
up
were
north.
shooting the rifle, and then she jammed the rifle, and it's still jammed to this day. I got to take it over to BK Guns and stuff. But I was like, oh my God, this is all your fault. I freaked out like it was the end of the world, remember?
I do remember
God,
that.
why do people do that?
Jackie almost left.
Yeah, it was bad. I hate when I do that. You know, and now I'm in my right mind, and I'm just embarrassed by that behavior.
Yeah, everybody has their day.
Yeah. Boy, you are so pretty. Look at you. Look how
Can't
pretty.
be perfect all the time.
Look how pretty you are. You can. You're just beautiful.
Are you trying? What are you trying to butter me up?
Yeah, I am.
I
I
don't have
am.
any makeup on.
I know, but I think you're just lovely. I love long hair.
Thank you. I'm trying to grow it out, but it stopped growing, I think.
No, doesn't just stop growing. What's up with all the hair in the drain? Is your hair falling out of your head or is it breaking?
Yeah, I think I'm going bald.
No, it's not. You're not going bald. I think your hair breaks, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not coming out at the root. I mean, you're not,
No.
your hair isn't thinning.
No.
I think
But
it's just, I think your hair breaks. I think that's what it is. Because
think it is.
it's amazing. There's like a whole muff in the drain every time I go in there.
I don't think you need to refer to it as a muff.
That's what it looks like. It looks like it looks like your crotch in 1991.
Okay, I gotta go.
All right. Sorry.
See ya.
Okay, I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Okay, bye. There you go. Queen of the forest. We get along so well. You didn't know it, but we had a real rocky patch at one point in time. It was bad. It was October of 2008, and the shit hit the fan. It was that period of time. It was so bad. Oh my God. It was all my fault. It was horrible. But we navigated it. We somehow made our way around it. I had a lot of help from a lot of people who helped guide us through that. But we almost didn't make it, man. Almost. But we put it together. And here we are, so many years later. All right. Okay. I mentioned Baldwin Ace Hardware, and then I mentioned BK Guns and stuff. Take your weaponry to them. You can send your weaponry to them anywhere in the United States. They are a small shit kicker, husband and wife team of gunsmiths. They met over the gun, and they have sex with guns all around them at BK Guns and Stuff. 616-902-2447. Benjamin and Kyle. You're like, wait a minute. It's two dude names. They're like gay and they have sex. Is that what's happening? No. Kyle is the lady. She's one of those like girl Kyles. Well, they're both gunsmiths. They can recondition your weaponry. They can clean it. They can customize it. Ask about the shotgun with the pump action shaped like Trump's dick. You can get the custom job there. They do all sorts of amazing custom work at BK Guns and Stuff, or just call upon them to buy a firearm. Anywhere in the USA, click on the BK Guns and Stuff logo if you want to utilize their services. That is found at ericzaneshow.com. It'll take you right to their Facebook page, and then you are in business. Or just call up Benjamin. He's got a day job. Leave a message, 616-902-2447. Okay, I've been going down this road. There's been some questions that have popped into my brain about the virus, about, and I'm not sure what it is, and I'm just going by what I see, and then I follow up. I've had numerous people that have been reaching out to me, and I've been slowly absorbing grains of information, and I have mixed thoughts on the current state of the pandemic. And that is what actually happened in New York. What's actually happening in Florida? Is it exactly as it seems? Because as it has gone, We had a massive amount of cases in the Northeast and an accompanying death number. It's not appearing to go the same route as places like Florida, Arizona, and Texas, which have really, really high infection numbers. And we wait to see if there will be death numbers similar to what was seen in New York. But as it stands right now, we should already be able to see alarmingly high death numbers in the hundreds of cases, hundreds of deaths, based on 14, 15, 16 days ago in these states when they were having 3,000 and 4,000 new cases a day. Now they're over 8, 9, 10,000 a day, which is New York level at the height of the pandemic. So why aren't we seeing those death numbers? What's going on? And I don't know, and I'm not asking in a snarky tone. I'm just, what's up? Could it be that the cases were inflated in New York? Could it be that the deaths were inflated in New York? Could it be they are underreporting and overreporting similarly in other states now? What actually is happening? I don't claim to know. I'm just asking. I've got numerous people that have reached out to me, but what I do have in front of me right now is something that is very close to home. And it is a state report on the county that is right next to where I live, Kent County, which is the, I believe, third or fourth largest county in Michigan. All right. Detroit was hammered first, Wayne, Oakland, Macomb counties. Kent is in fourth place for infections. Now, the numbers that I'm quoting here, the first thing I looked at in this article, which comes to us from a off the beaten path news source known as the Grand Rapids Reporter. The Grand Rapids Reporter went ahead and gleaned information taken from the state of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. The information provided by the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services relies on the weeks during the coronavirus scare in Michigan. And it relies on estimated cases and estimated deaths, which was the first thing that I was like, well, wait a minute, what do you mean by estimated cases and estimated deaths? A lot of these organizations that are similar to Kent County in the United States, like the state of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, relies on data. And with that data, they make estimations based on formulas, figures, math. You can do that. These estimations, you would assume would be reasonably accurate. So the estimations of the cases, the estimations of case numbers in a county like Kent will be higher than actual cases. Because especially with a disease like, or an illness like COVID-19, because so many people will not even know that they have it. So you look at the estimated number. That's important for this story. Because this isn't a long story, and I'll link it up, and it's quite literally just the facts of COVID-19 in this area. Again, the source is the state of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. And it gives you a week-by-week account from the week of March 1st through the 7th up until June 21 through the 27th of estimated cases of COVID-19. Like in the March 1st through the 7th weeks, there were an estimated 400 cases of COVID-19. Now, you didn't hear about that. You heard about, we got one case, one confirmed case. But they are going with the estimated number, which has to be a tangible number because of the reasons why of what I just talked to you about. Of those cases, cumulative deaths estimated was 0. So you had a survival rate of 100%. Same thing from March 8th to the 14th. There was an estimated new cases of 500. You take those 2 weeks, that gives you a cumulative estimated cases of 900. 0 estimated deaths. Survival rate of 100%. Most of you have never heard these numbers. I know I didn't until I read the article. This goes all the way into the week of June 21 to the 27th, which there is an estimated caseload in Kent County of 8,800 cases. And you're like, wait a minute, for that week alone, there's an estimated number of cases that many? Yes. According to the state of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, they predict that there is an estimated 8,800 cases in Kent County, Michigan, and an estimated death rate of 131 cumulatively. Like in the week of June 21 through the 27th, 8,800 cases estimated, 3 deaths estimated. Cumulatively, from March 1 all the way to June 27, you have 223,400 cases estimated of COVID-19 and 131 deaths estimated. All right. That gives you a survival rate of 99.941. Now, I went, what? I did a double take. I'm like, what is going on here? This data that the Grand Rapids Reporter reported, as I said, comes from the state of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, an authority on this. Over those 12 weeks, 131 have died, estimated. COVID-19 recoveries totaled 223,269. You don't hear about this. Why? What's going on? Kent County's recovery rate from March through June on COVID-19 is slightly higher. This is going to sound crazy. Than typical national recovery rates from, I'm going to say it, seasonal flu. Oh, God. This should be upsetting the apple cart. I'm not making it up. You would have to go to the what is the organization? The State of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services to argue this. I'm just reading to you what they said. So why is this happening then? Can someone shine some light on this for me? Now, some of you are watching this and you're going, holy fuck, he's getting it. We've beat the shit out of him in a submission, but we think he might have it. My pal Tim Fagan from iHeart sent this along to me, and he started the conversation out with, "Yeah, Eric, I don't follow any, I don't watch any news, and I stay off the beaten path, and I pick and choose. I'm a little bit more thorough in what I'm learning." And I went, "Really? What are you talking about?" And then he quoted this article. I go, "Send me that article. I need to see this, Tim." I said, "By the way, I'm available to work anytime. If you really want me to fix that company, if you really want that company fixed, you got to hire Eric. You're going to continue to suck ass until you hire Eric, and he'll suck ass with you." This is insane. Can someone explain this to me? Can some of you people, because, I'm not saying anything about don't cough into your elbow and hey, forget wearing a mask. No, I'm all about that. I'm all about that because I don't want anybody getting COVID-19 who is elderly, and all the same, to me, all the same rules apply. But this is the story, Kent County's recovery rate is slightly higher than typical national recovery rates from the flu. God, I never thought I would read that and go, oh, I guess there's something to that. In 2018-19, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Controls and Prevention, an estimated 35,520,883 Americans were stricken with seasonal flu. The recovery rate was 99.09%. As I indicated to you, according to the State of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the recovery rate from COVID-19 in Kent County is at 99.94%. So why is this not being talked about? I'm getting pissed off just knowing this. In 2018, Kent County saw 4,932 total deaths from all causes. A total of 90 or 1.8% were from influenza or pneumonia. State health records show heart disease, 1,536 deaths, that's 31%, and cancer, 1,028 deaths at 21%. Those are the leading causes of death in the county. As its own category, COVID-19 would rank 7th. Kent County's population in 2019 was 656,955. The byline reads, yeah, probably. However, federal health officials say Kent County's official COVID-19 death count of 131 is inflated. So the already low chance of dying from it now is even lower because of the inflated death count, according to federal health officials. What? Dr. Deborah Birx, response coordinator of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, said in May that she believes the methodology for attributing COVID-19 cause of death, oh no, this is going to hurt, incentivizes hospitals to overcount. Oh. Folks, you're seeing the balance of information teeter-totter precariously in my brain. What to do? Changes nothing for me. I still am wearing the mask. Shut up. Shut up. Local health officials in Michigan concur with Burke's assessment. She's the one who wears the scarves. When the president was saying scrub the lungs, she was like, oh, God, no. Quote, I think a lot of clinicians are putting that condition on death certificates when it might not be accurate because they died with coronavirus and not of coronavirus. Oh, no. Macomb County Medical Examiner Mark Spitz told this to the Ann Arbor News. Are they entirely accurate? No. Are people dying of it? Yes. Are people dying of other things and coronavirus is maybe getting credit? Yeah, probably. I don't understand the incentivizing, though. What is that? What's the incentive to say, oh, yeah, cool, we can add one? It doesn't really explain that. Why? Does that mean the hospitals gets something for that? Hey, you earned another death. Here's some more tickets like in skee ball. How does that work? I'll link this article up. You can read. I'm reading it to you word for word. This is fascinating. COVID-19 counting errors notwithstanding, evidence mounts that Michigan communities have reached herd immunity when enough of the population has become immune to the virus from previous infection, effectively protecting those who are not immune. So you got a group of 25 people, 18 have had it. The virus might be there, but it dies there. And the two people that don't have it don't end up getting it because it dies within the person or something like that. That's I'm paraphrasing how herd immunity works, but that's kind of how it is. So these people are suggesting that the herd immunity has come to life within this great state. According to Nobel laureate and Stanford University biophysicist Dr. Michael Levitt, quote, herd immunity kicks in and viruses burn out after infection of 15 to 20% of the population. So if Kent County has 223,400 estimated cases by the state of Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and there's 650,000 people that live in Kent County, that's herd immunity. It's just the math. I'm not making it up. It's just the percentage. Wow. So Kent County makes up an estimated 30% of its total 2019 population with that number, or twice Levitt's threshold. That would suggest that the county has established herd immunity. This is not a long article. This is a short read. This is like 6, 8, 10 paragraphs. Get it and send it to people. See what they think. This was very eye-opening to me. And I you know what? Honestly, I don't want to sit around and feel foolish about how I may have felt before. But I think at this point in time, this needs to be looked at thoroughly. And we need to think about this. And maybe get a better understanding for what could be actually happening here. The truth is somewhere in there. I still will be very, very vigilant about how I maintain social distance. And I just don't want to, just for me, I want to take every precaution going forward. But I think eventually, I think this is actually a great bit of news. Let's go over some of the feedback from people. Patriot Nick says, I'd hate to say I told you so. No, actually, I don't, writes Nick. Fuck. Nick adds, incentive. The incentive, Eric, is more federal funding. Really? Is that how that works? Dirk writes, glad you're finally waking up and asking questions. Well, you don't need to put it that way, fucko. Excuse me. He sends another another article that I will have to look at about the Texas number of people. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've got a cameo request that I need to keep. Oh, God. Oh, my God. The psycho magician, John Midgley. What does he call himself again? The mental health magician. I always call him the psycho magician. He booked me for cameo, and he's got me kissing my wife's ass. Dirk follows up with subject line, incentivizing COVID death counts. Period. He's been big on trying to beat me over the head with information about COVID. Period. Am, period. Loving, period. This, period. I've been telling you this for more than a month now. No apology necessary. Your awakening is worth it. Fuck off. What the fuck? You know what? Yeah, maybe. Maybe I am. But at the same time, I'm not like you. You're crazy. You're a maniac. I'm still going to behave the same way. I think it's very important that we do everything we can now that we've got this thing on the run. And I do believe we have it on the run because even though we are seeing those alarmingly high cases, I think ultimately this is going to come back as we won't see the death like we saw in New York. Something is fishy there. And ultimately this will fizzle and then it won't be nearly as sexy of a story and we can all go back to living our lives. Dirk continues, quote, why? Because it's a straightforward garden variety pneumonia that a person is admitted to the hospital for. If they're Medicare, typically the diagnosis-related group lump sum payment would be $5,000. But it's COVID-19 pneumonia, then it's $13,000. And if that COVID-19 pneumonia patient ends up on a ventilator, the hospital gets the Medicare payment of $39,000. Now, I'll have to dig a little bit into that article, but he's got an accompanying link from USA Today that says, fact check, Medicare hospitals paid more COVID-19 patients coronavirus. I'll have to take a look at that. Wow, that's interesting. So you got somebody who's just a regular pneumonia. Oh, no, let's list it as he's on a ventilator and he's got COVID. $39,000. Boom. That would be a hell of a conspiracy. I don't know if I want to go that far and even believing that, but if that's the case, holy shit. He also sends me a link. CDC, COVID-19 should be reported on the death certificate for all descendants where the disease caused or is assumed to have caused or contributed to death, with a link from the CDC. Oh, boy. Shit, man. Before long, this birthday party hat is going to be a tinfoil hat, thanks to all these Zaniac assholes for giving me all this shit. Cut it out, guys. Come on, man. All I want to do is go to Tennessee and not put up with this shit. What the hell? All right. It's all Fagan's fault. Fagan is the one who sent me the link. If anybody knows Tim Fagan over at iHeart, say, hey, thanks for sending Zane the link about coronavirus. He touched on it good and hard during the podcast today. Okay. Well, that's it. This podcast is done. If you enjoyed it and you think it's worth it, if you join me on listener-supported podcasting, that is my Patreon, you are contributing directly to keeping the lights on and the equipment purchased and me doing this each and every day so you can beat the shit out of me. The second I lose Patreon, I got to go get a job. And that means the free podcast suffers. So if you think I'm working my ass off and giving you something that's tangible that you can utilize for free, throw me a bone on the Patreon. I don't even care if you don't listen to it, but I'm hoping you do. It's just $5 a month. And that $5 a month that you are contributing, man, does it go a long way, because we've got like a group of people, and that has it really helps. That money is something that I work very hard for, and I hope you like the Patreon. That is extra podcasting. I don't have any ads in that. It's just you and me. That is officially listener-supported podcasting. You can go $5 a month and you get the audio podcast. If you go $10 a month, you get the audio and the live stream. You play Dale in Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia, which I got a game coming up in 44 minutes with Dirk and Dale going head-to-head. So I got to come up with questions. And a whole assortment of other freebies and essentials that we come up with over time and add those to the Patreon. And I'll buy you a T-shirt if you go with $10 a month. So think about it. Pray about it. If you think I've earned your dollars with the effort that I'm putting forth and you think it's worthy, throw me some scratch. I would love that. Okay. That is it, man.
And don't nobody want their child to be sick. And don't nobody want to take that virus to their house. And I wipe my children backpack down when I got them out of school. Sure did. Gave them gloves. Sure did.
That's it. This is me when I was wiping the shit off Peter Batchy's leg. It's real audio from 1980.
This virus ain't that serious.
That guy might be right.
This virus ain't that serious.
Word. Nice boobs, Tyler.
This is all your fault.
Leave a titty in my mouth.
Serious question.
All right, that's it. That's it, folks. Bye-bye.
Serious question. How much the fucking jam?